Alright, welcome in everyone. My name's John and this is the Aussie Endurance Series. We just got underway with qualifying for round 9 of the PCUP series, hosted by the Hamilton RSL. Alright, Barry's just crossed the line with a 134.3. Jamie Fleming was in P2, 134.7. Greg Levine, 134.5. Ellis Dogan up front, 133.8. So it's already kicking off, which is great to see. Alright, Dean Reddit is a snag pole, 133.5, provisionary. And we've got two V8 supercars tonight. We've got Scott Fitzsimmons and Jared Eastman. So a bit surprised to see Jared in a V8 supercar this week, but he obviously wants to give it a go. It is there for everybody to use if they want to have a go and just work on it, on learning the car around these tracks. So we do follow the P-Cup series, so the track schedule follows the Porsche Cup. So it can be, it's not the best to follow the V8 supercars around here because it's not following the same tracks each week. But if we do get more popular in the V8s, then we can look at alternating that each week. Jared's in a pretty cool army looking livery there. I'm not sure if he built that or found that, or if that's a replica of some sort. But Scott's the quicker at the moment, Ford versus Camaro. In his usual Ned Whiskey outfit there. So we've got Dean Reddit on provisional pole, 133.5. Axel still in P2, 133.6. And then Barry Punter, John Akers, Greg Levine, Jamie Fleming, and Phil Whiteman, 136.9. Let's jump on board. A lot later on the brakes than I thought they would be. Looks like Jared Eastman's managed to jump up onto pole for the V8 supercars. Can Axel do any better in his 888 machine? So we've got a few non-qualifiers so far. We've got Don Pittman, Joel Farley, Ricky Provenzali, Tim Hancock. All haven't qualified yet, so we'll see if we get a times out of them. Whoa, big step out there. Let's see if we can jump on board that one and just to see what that looks like. Very heavy on the throttle. But yeah, he was already losing control there and then tried to shift up and tank that power, but as we get a bit of a I'm going to get a bit of a burnout show here. I know he's working on his launches. That looked a lot better than last week. Alright, Joel Farley's just set his first time, 134.3. So we've got Dean on provisional pole with a 133.2. Joel and his Qantas Flyers group. Yeah, still waiting on a time from Don, Ricky and Tim. Tim usually qualifies at the back for these races, so we probably won't see a time from him. As Barry may have had a crash or was just pulled up. Let's see, looks like the last couple of corners are the most trickiest. Yeah, look at that, same mistake as Axel. So that might be one to keep an eye on. Let's see what happened to Phil. Same spot, different mistake. Oh no, that's much higher up in the hill. That's about turn 3, I think. And Greg into T1. No, he's just pulling up. And then that was Axel just pulling up. Yeah, so at the moment, Jared Eastman's on pole of the race. So the V8 Supercars are out front, even though they're a slower class around a lot of these tracks. So they're about 2 seconds off the pace around here. Scotty will line up next to him. And then we've got our Porsche Cup cars. Let's see if anyone else is still on track. Oh, Joe Farley's just jumped up into P4. There you go, that's his 3rd lap. Done and dusted. Alright, anyone left on track? John, Greg, Barry, Phil? Nah, no one's on track. Alright. So we've got a 1 hour race tonight. Lap time of minute 33, so just over a minute and a half, so probably about 40 odd laps, depending on how they go. But it should be a good race around here. Lots of opportunity to keep up in the tow. As long as you don't overdo it, that's for sure. There, we've got about 10 seconds left in the session, so this should roll over in a second.
You've got a bit gridness up the front, mate. Do you want to start from the pits so we don't block these guys?
There we go, they're just sorting out.
Bring the chaos, I say.
Bring the chaos, he says. Why the hell not? Alright, let's see if I can find the schedule here real quick to post up for everyone. Alright, so that's our schedule for this season. It's we've got all three leagues on there, so we've got
Okay, just a reminder, give each other room, pull out incidents of race control. Anyway, have some fun.
So this is the last of the round 9, week of round 9. So next week we're up to round 10. The GT4s are at Mid-Ohio on Wednesday. And then the Porsche Cups are heading to Interlagos. We were just there in the GT4, so this should be good. Alright. Let's get ourselves set up here. Getting ready. Let's see what camera angle is going to be best. Definitely not that one. Probably that one. Alright. So we've got 11 Porsche Cups and 2 V8 Supercars. And we've got Tim and Ricky and Dom Pittman all starting at the back without a qualifying time. So it should be good. Alright, about 30 seconds before green flag. So starting grid, Dean Reddit, followed by Jamie Fletting on the front row. Then we've got Axel, Joel Farley on the second row, John Akers and Greg Levine on the third row, Barry and PJ on the fourth row, Tim and Ricky on the fifth row, and then Don at the back. Alright, here we go. Cars are set, we're ready, revs should start rising. Green flag, let's go. Oh, Axel lights it up again, he's really struggling to get that launch. Tim's looking keen behind. Alright, looking pretty clean in the T1, 3 wide, but they all got through there pretty clean. Axel fell down a few spots there, fell down 4 spots. Who else? Joel also fell down with a bad start. Alright, as we come up to T2 now. Very tight right-hander. Looks like they're all getting through there. Tim's made up quite a few spots already. 2 spots up. The leaders look like they're cruising through pretty comfortably. Oh, we're going to move up the inside. No, just defending his line, Joel. He's got Tim Hancock right behind him, so he'll be keen to try and hold that off as long as he can. Alright, looks like we're all shaking out line of stern. We've all gotten through the first 3 turns. Let's see if we can complete a lap without any fuss. We've also got our 2 V8 supercars out the back now, coming out of the pits. Joel's under a lot of pressure from Tim here. Tim looks up the inside. Nice and tight. Get through there nice and clean. Hey. Good overtake from Tim there up the inside in the last corners. Alright. We've got 2 cars side by side up ahead. Not sure who was making the move on who then. 3 wide down the straight. Just the way you like to see it. Barry Punter gets through. That was Greg Levine dropping down in the blue and white Porsche. Oh, contact. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, we're going to have to review this. So I've got nothing come up. Alright, we're going to have to go into race control mode here. Alright, looks like we've got a bit of netcode incidents happening here. Alright, so Tim and Barry. And then Tim obviously gets loose. Oh, don't do that. No, let me get back on here. So Tim tries to squeeze, gets loose, takes out Barry. Alright, haven't heard anything through race control yet. So we'll let it go for now. Let's jump back up on Jamie here. I just want to check this real trick. So Don had an issue as well. So these guys spinning up ahead. Not all good. And Axel as well. Okay, set incident, but they didn't really do anything, so maybe they just slowed up. Alright, let's get back on the action. We've got Jamie Fleming chasing down Dean Reddit for the lead here. Back at the front. Hey, Greg. Ricky. Not sure. I think he just didn't start the race, so... He might have just missed the race start. Not sure. Alright, and Axel's also closing up on Greg Levine behind. Our closest battle on track at the moment. We'll stick with this for the minute. A lot of debris on track already. Yeah, I think Ricky just didn't take the grid, Greg, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Oh, Axel up the inside of Greg. Makes an easy overtake on that one. Greg gives him plenty of room. Alright, and Tim's back on the charge again here, chasing down Don. He should make an easy overtake out of this one, but we've got a bit of a 3-way battle up ahead. Alright, so Tim's just going to take it easy now, but he'll make that overtake in a second. Let's focus on this one. And Tim's made that pass on Don. Up into T1. Oh, very late at Big Greg. Good dive. Not really a dive, sorry, shouldn't. Just a good move there. Joel got a good run out of there, so I think he broke a bit early, but carried much more speed. Have a look up the inside here now. Greg checks out and gives plenty of room there. As Tim is flying through the field. But Greg's looking to make the move back. Through goes Joel. Should make it stick this time. No, Greg goes to run back up the inside again. Good racing here, lots of room and lots of respect. As Phil has an off track. Tim running a bit wide in the background there. Alright, looks like Joel has made the move stick there now. Let's check in on our V8 supercars. How are they travelling? I need to check on Barry too. He's still running. Yeah, he's still running. He's just he's 4 seconds off the back of Don, so he's not out of it yet. Oh, commentator's curse. There we go. Hold your brakes. Alright, he's having a bit of a rough race, Barry, this one. That's right, it's got a long way to go. Tim's now all over the back of Greg. Let's see if she can get a good run down here. Just as long as he gives a little bit more room this time, that's it. He makes that stick. Alright, looks like Don's had a moment. And Phil's been able to make the overtake. Don's going to have a look up the inside on Phil. Can he pull it up? Oh no, he's a bit deep. Oh great, over under from Phil there. That was a great move. So Phil doing well under pressure, which is good to see. Looks like the field is starting to shake out a little bit though. So let's jump back up front. So Dean is still holding on to the lead. He started on pole and he's running away with it a little bit. Then you got Jamie just behind, trying to keep in that toe, trying to keep in range of him as he runs off track there. And then behind them you got John Akers, Mr. Consistent, always finding himself on the podium. It looks like Don's made the move back on Phil again. Let's see if Phil can keep up with him. Axel's found his way back to P4 after starting P4 and then, started in P3 and then couldn't get the start right again. He lit it up a bit too much, same with Joel. Joel's just sitting just behind. And Tim Hancock is starting to work his way back through the field again. What's up on the Joel? Did he just run off? I didn't even see it. Let's just see what happened here. Oh yeah, well deep. I thought I heard something in the background. Alright, going back live again now. So Joel's on the back of Greg again. So he lost a couple of spots in that off track. So he's got a bit of work to do here again. So Greg's been really cooperative tonight. And the guys need to be respectful of that. So Greg will pick up the pieces of the guys that are making mistakes out front. He'll just be running consistently throughout the race. Greg started in P6, so he's only dropped one spot so far. So that's good. He's just biding his time. Probably run into a fuel number, so that's good. Jump on my sniffer cam here as Joel gets very wide in the background there. Let's quickly grab back on the cameras. Joel getting very loose on the exit. Now it's just showing that Phil's had a moment. Let's just have a quick look what happened here. Oh, yep. Let's jump on board and have another look at that one. Yeah, they're so tricky, these cars. It's that rear grip just isn't there. Alright, as Joel's trying to work back on Greg again. Greg lifts off and lets him through.
Hopefully I can keep it on the
as they're talking shit to each other now. Not sure why my voice chat's so low. Let's fix that up real quick. There we go. Alright, Barry's caught up to the back of Phil here. Let's see if Barry can make the move up into T1. Yeah, he made a great exit there. Should get a good run down here. Phil goes defensive on the inside. Tim Hancock, fastest lap of the race, the 1:33 flat last lap. And Phil checks out, thinks better of it. That's smart driving from Phil there. Alright, let's check out our V8 supercars. So we've got Jared Eastman out front. Currently setting the pace with a 1:35. And then, where is Scott? Scott's 27. He's only just behind him. There he is. He's just behind him, trying to catch back up. Let's jump on board here. Man, that sounds good. A lot of horsepower, these cars. You'll see that the Porsche Cup is able to out corner them. The V8's got to really slow it up. But once that V8 supercar gets the power down, you'll see here, bit of a drag race. Well, I think Scott's lifted off here just to let Barry through. Yeah, the Porsche should get a lot more power down a lot sooner. Let's check out the gap here. 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6. Oh, he is flying. 0.5. Massive horsepower difference. But yeah, I believe the Porsche Cups run a 300mm tyre, and the V8 supercar is only running a 270. So that extra 30mm of tread certainly makes a big difference. Alright, the field's shaking out a bit. Let's jump back on our leader. So Dean is currently out in the lead with a 2.2 second gap to P2. He's been doing really well, Dean, this season. Oh, Jared's had a crash. Let's see where he is. Oh, on the infield. Alright, he's lost it out of the last couple of corners, so let's jump on board and have a quick look what happened there.
Race control, can I have a mic check?
Race control doesn't even have a mic.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's what happened here. Race control loud and clear if you got me.
Volunteer fucking week or something. I want to give a shout out for Lee and for Jared for putting these events together for us each week, yeah? That's fucking awesome.
There you go, shout out to the volunteers. Thanks, Don, appreciate you, mate.
Yeah, here, brother.
So shout out to the volunteers, so it's shouting out to AES admin.
Thanks, guys.
Jared hosts this season, this series, sorry, in conjunction with the Hamilton RSL, so this is all that Jared's built this one. It's been a really successful series. It's really brought a lot of guys into the league, which has been really good. And yeah, we're really grateful for Jared for doing this one. As he run around, it's no-nos, because he's obviously trying to get a bit of extra airflow going there. As he runs off track. Alright, let's stop cursing him for the moment. Let's jump back on the leaders. So we've still got Dean out front. Opening, extending that gap up to 2.7 seconds. So it looks like Jamie hasn't got what it takes to keep up with Dean's pace. 133.3 to last lap, so pretty sure that's quicker than his qualifying time, so he's absolutely flying. Jamie is under pressure though from John Akers. Looks like John Akers doing 133.4, unless Jamie just had a bad lap, which is very likely. It happens from time to time. You get a bad lap here and there. So I'll have to keep an eye on those lap times, because then John Akers will start closing up that gap. And then you've still got Axel just lurking in the background there. Just waiting to pounce on these guys. Very similar lap times, 133.3 to 133.6. And then Axel's got Tim just behind him in the 133.2. So he has done a 133 flat. Oh, as Axel loops it in the last corner. I was nearly going to say something that I should move on before I curse him, and we bloody cursed him anyway. So let's jump on board and see what happened there. Just the undulation. Good save though, really good save. Kept that car in. Alright, so that's dropped him back a little bit. He only lost the one place, so that's good. But he does have Joel now putting pressure on him. It's so easy to lose the rear end in these things when they're so sensitive on the brakes and the throttle. If you accidentally carry a bit too much speed into a corner through non-effective braking, then it's so easy to lose the rear. As we've now got Joel looking to put pressure all over the back of Axel. Jump on the sniffer cam. Not quite close enough yet. And Axel is really quick, so it depends on whether Axel got shaken up or not. If he's going to back off his pace, or if he's able to keep pushing on. So Jamie 133.5, so yeah, he's back on pace. John Akers 132.9, that's fastest up at the race. Let's go and jump on John, so he's finding his feet. And he's definitely going to close up on Jamie pretty quick now. That's half a second a lap. And he's only, what's that, 1.2 seconds behind, so 2 more laps. Let's jump on board here. Let's try and see where he's making up all this pace. So nothing in the first 2 sectors. Let's see if he makes up something in the 3rd sector. No, nothing really that lap. So he maintained the 1.2 gap. But he should be getting close to getting in a tow. Tim Hancock with a 132.6. John Akers with a 132.6. Jamie Fleming with 133 flat. So Jamie's picked up his pace as well, but he's still 3/10 slower. So those laps came with off tracks, that's why they're not registering as the fastest lap of the race.
Track limit tonight? Doesn't look like it.
Oh,
Was just asking for a friend.
looks like there's no limit
Nah,
on.
bro. Go for gold, man. Send it everywhere.
Alright, we've just established that we don't have an incident limit tonight. So,
Race control probably cut too much and cause something.
Hey, Jared, I just gave you props, bro. Now you're fucking calling everyone out. Come on, man. It's all well, mate.
alright, so he's just very, very slowly closing that gap to Jamie Fleming. So we come around the last corner here now. Now he's within 1 second. Oh, Jared's had another moment. What's happened to Jared here? At the hairpin. Oh wow, that just really lit up on him. Not too much damage though, so he'll just keep cracking on. You probably want to come into the pit soon and get that car repaired. But as long as he can get to the end, I don't know if he's got a fuel cap. I think they just start with minimum fuel, average fuel. So John Akers is now within that 0.8 of a second, closing in on Jamie for P2. Tim Hancock's lurking in the background there. Tim now with a fast stop of 132.9 officially, but he has done a 132.6, so he's definitely fractionally quicker than these guys every single lap. And Joel's also just sitting within that 1 second of Axel as well, so of Duke. So I'm not sure if Ilias is dropping off a bit or no. Commentator's curse. Joel's just had a moment again. Let's go and have a quick look what happened there. So this seems to be Joel's Achilles heel this corner. And now that's put him in the grips of Greg Levine. So yeah, what is that? Turn 3? Yeah, that's Joel just can't seem to get the braking right for that one every time. Oh, John Akers right up on the back of Jamie here now. Getting a good run out of the corner here. He's within that 0.5. Jamie got a good exit out of T1 then, so he should be able to hold on for at least until the hairpin. And how's John going to handle the toe here now? Tim with another fastest lap, 132.7. Still lurking in the background there, so yeah, he's consistently a bit quicker, although John Akers in 132.6 with an off track. A lot of dust and debris all over the track now. That's John starting to close up that gap. Oh, he's dropped off a little bit this lap. So we'll see how he responds. So I don't know if Jamie's picked up the pace or if John's dropped off a bit. It can be hard when you get a bit of toe and you're not sure exactly where your braking is. And it might take a lap or two to work that out. John gets very sideways into that last corner. So dropped off a bit that lap, so 133.3. Jamie did his best lap, 133 flat. So Jamie's picked up his pace, and John's just trying to maintain his. Tim Hancock, fastest lap again, 132.65. So he was a good half a second plus, quicker than John Akers that lap. So yeah, we're going to have a three-way battle for second soon. And if Jamie can keep up his pace, he'll be catching up to Dean pretty quick too, so might be a four-way battle for the lead. Yeah, John Akers dropping out of that 1 second range, so he's losing time here. Okay, I'm not sure if it's the toe impacting the car making it feel a little bit unsettled, or maybe he's cooking his tyres a little bit, trying to pull the car up in that tow. Yeah, we'll have to see how this shapes out. So yeah, that's our lead pack. Oh, saying that, he's just made up massive amounts of time on Jamie here. Let's jump on our sniffer cam. Oh, John decides to pit. He's going to go for the undercut, hey? He's not going to try and battle Jamie. He's going to go for the undercut instead. Makes a great pit entry. Now it's up to Tim to see if he can catch up to Jamie. 3-second gap. Jamie lost about half a second then to the leader. So yeah, definitely a bad lap that time by. 1:33.8. Phil just racked himself up an off track. John Akers dropping down the order in the pit lane. Alright, so Dean's still cruising out front pretty comfortably. $1:33.1, so yeah, definitely not the quickest out on track. Axel's done a 1:32.8, that's now his fastest lap. Tim's probably quickest out on track overall, but he's still got 6 seconds to the leader, so he's got a fair bit of time to make up, and he's only doing it in tenths. So probably 2 to 3 tenths every lap. So 3 laps for a second, 6 seconds, looking at 18 laps. And we're almost halfway through the race here on lap 18, so probably got about 40 laps in the race. So he's got time to do it, but it's going to be close. As we see, Barry's just come out, sorry, John Akers has come out in front of Barry. Don's just had a moment. Let's just have a quick look what happened here. This is coming down to the hairpin. Oh, just a bit of a lock up, and he continues on. So Don's sitting in P9 here with Phil Whiteman, about 10 seconds behind. And John Akers all over the back of Jared Eastman now. Jared came in before and made a pit, so his car is back to 100%, taking advantage of his fast repair. His pit stop was about 59 seconds, so he's about exactly 1 pit stop behind Scott at the moment, so he might have been clawing back some of that time. As Jared makes it nice and easy for John to get through there. Got a few more guys in pits now, so Don and Barry have both decided to come into pits right on just before that halfway mark. Where's our leader?
No worries, mate. I wanted to keep drag racing, you know. You could have pushed me.
Alright, Dean coming through the last 2 corners onto the front straight now. Let's see what his lap time. That's his fastest lap. Last lap was a 1:33 flat. This is unofficially his fastest lap, 1:32.8. So they are racking up the off tracks, taking advantage of the extra track they can use now without an incident limit. And he's pulled out to a 4.4 second lead over Jamie Fleming. So his pace is fast and consistent. Tim Hancock has invalidated lap time, so he might have got to slow down there somewhere or had a bit of discontinuity. But he's only 2.5 seconds back now from Jamie, chasing down that P2 spot. And I reckon Tim will be battling for the lead by the end. That'll be certainly his goal in any case. As we got a bit of a moment, Grace coming in the pits. So Joel's in, Greg's in. We've just passed that halfway mark now, so just under 30 minutes left in the race. As Joel is off and racing. Where's he going to come out? Just in front of Phil by the looks of it. Here we go in the T1. Who's got the run? Who's got the momentum? So Phil will probably tuck in behind, just because he knows that he's not battling Joel at the moment. All right, Tim Hancock following Jamie into the pits there. Ooh, Jamie, big pinch of the brakes right at the end there. Bit of a panic, as our leader is also in. Dean's into the pits too. So we've got Dean, Jamie and Tim, our top 3 runners at the moment. Let's go and jump on Axel. Oh no, what's happened to Axel? Let's see what's happened here. Oh, big lock up there. And then just decided to pull up. Oh, maybe he's trying to wait to get into the pits. Let's jump on live. Yep, so he made it into the pits. Alright, Dean is out. Alright, Dean's still holding on to the lead. Tim has managed to jump Jamie in the pits. So whether that's been through fuel saving or just not needing, or just having a finer margin to get to the end. Where's John Akers? So John's just behind this pack now, so he's still got a little bit of work to do. Let's have a look at pit stop time. So John Akers 41.5, Dean and Tim 38.7, and Jamie Fleming 39.7. So a little bit of fluctuation in time there. John coming in earlier might have taken a bit extra fuel, because the calculations weren't quite as precise as the guys who came in a bit later on. But Jamie's still losing another second in the pit stops to the other 2. So Joel Foley had the fastest pit stop with the 36.7. So we'll see what happens in that space. Just want to check on Axel. Oh, Axel's towed back to pits, so I'm not sure what's happened there. So we'll jump back on Tim. Oh, yep, and so Scotty's pitted. And now Jared has been able to catch back up. So he was catching up on the pace, made his pit stop early, and then came back out. And then once Scotty came in and pitted, now they're back on pack. Look at that wheel work to keep that thing straight. So Scott's finally found the 35s, and Jared's doing 36 flat. So Jared was doing 35s earlier, so we'll see if he can regain that pace to catch back up to Scott and have a good battle to the end. Looks like Phil's coming to the pits for his stop, and he should be the last one. Looks like Axel's pulled the pin tonight. But yeah, Phil's the last one to do the pit stop. Tim Hancock has closed the gap from 6 down to 4.2 seconds, so he's closing the gap to the leader. Oh, as he gets a bit sideways there, he's pushing hard. Scotty's had an off track there. Let's jump on this battle between Jared and Scott. Two V8 supercars having fun. That's what we love to see.
Right. Race control, could we please have a look at Joel's incident points? I think he deserves a 10-second stop-go penalty.
Unfortunately, this race control doesn't have access to that information, so that's not something I can monitor tonight, sorry.
So our information tells us that Joel has 24 incident points currently. 25 incident points as Joel just informed us.
Bloody hell, 25. Alright, stick with this battle for now. So Jared is closing the
By
gap to Scott.
consensus, all racers have agreed that Joel deserves a 30-second stop go penalty.
Alright, so Scott Fitzsimmons is finding his fastest laps now, 135.8. But Jared is just doing that little bit quicker, well, 135.6. So he's very slowly closing the gap.
Slow down here, bro. Go right.
So we'll stick with this for the moment.
Thanks, Tommy.
As we, all the P-cups at the moment are all pretty shaken out.
I didn't realise you were right there. Sorry.
Let's just mute them for the moment. Oh, Scotty getting very wild into that corner.
Tim, I'll stay left, bro.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Oh, Jared getting very loose out of that corner. He's pushing hard, but he's pushing too hard, I think. He needs to let the car do the work. Alright, so an update on the rest of the field. So Dean is still out with the lead at the moment, but it's dropping down to 2.8 seconds with Tim Hancock right behind him there, hunting him down.
Jonathan, I'll stay left here, bro. I'm backing off now.
So he's definitely closing that gap
All good, mate. Thank you.
every lap. So difference in pace. Looks like Dean had a bad lap before, but that was nearly a second lost. And then Jamie Fleming doesn't quite have the pace of these guys at the front. But he's looking strong for a P3 at the moment, as long as he can hold off John Akers, who's just in the background there. We've had reports that Joel Farley is using up a lot of those incident points, so we'll have to look at that post-race if we see any that seem a bit excessive compared to everyone else. Hey, Rick. Oh yeah, mate, if you want to jump into the waiting room, I can drag you in. I don't actually have Discord open at the moment, just because my frames have been getting a bit tanked lately, so I'm just trying to work out what the hell's going on. But yeah, if you want to jump in the waiting room, Rick, I can drag you in. So yeah, back to the action. So Jarrett's made the move on Scott there. We could probably see this here. So Jarrett's had an off track. And then Scotty's had an off track just a little bit later on. Very wide. Oh, this is the tricky corner T3 everyone's been struggling with. As Jared makes the move up the inside nice and cleanly. So we'll jump back on live as, oh no, Jared's had a moment himself. Has he got damage? What's he done? No, it's just gotten loose. Car looks a bit wild, so he might have a bit of damage here as Joel's trying to get through. Let's have a real quick look here what happened to Jared. Oh, we're going to have to go back further than that. Oh, a bit too much, a bit quick. Oh, he's cooking his tyres, that's what's happening. So he might have that brake bias wound back a bit too far. And that might be cooking those rear tyres of his. So he's going to have to be careful for a few laps now. Let's jump back onto the leaders. So Dean's still out front, but Tim Hancock, seeing the fastest lap of the race, 132.6, is still closing the gap. As we welcome Rick into the booth. Welcome, mate.
Don, how are you, mate?
Good, how you going?
Good, good. Yeah, apologise. I wasn't able to make it myself tonight, unfortunately.
No, all good. No, they're having some fun out there.
Yeah, I've unfortunately I can't be at the PC. The sim is out of action at the moment. I can't get to that room, so I'm having to pull up YouTube in the background, and I've got you obviously.
No worries.
Chat. So it'll be a little bit dull in regards to the volume for me.
No, it's all good. So I just went live in Discord, so you should be able to see what I'm seeing.
Yep, I'll click back over.
All right, but Tim is all over the back of Dean now. So I think Dean's had a moment. We can go back and have a check of in a minute. And that's allowed Tim just to jump right on the back of him. Let's jump on board here with Tim. As now he's going to try and navigate around Dean, who have both been pretty similar pace, but Dean's pace has just really dropped off in these last few laps. Whether it's been a bit of pressure or maybe he's just taking a bit too easy for a few laps.
Might even be a combination effect of the tyres as well.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, as Tim gets very loose. So Tim's cooking his rears.
Momentum.
Yeah, 100%.
Fucking Jesus.
There you go. Alright, so he's got a bit of work to do to catch back up again now. Alright, we've got a few moments to have a look at, so let's have a quick look at what happened to Dean. Coming up into the hairpin. Pinched it up into the hairpin, then allowed Tim to close the gap. And then Don has... Something's happened to Don here. Maybe decided to retire. Oh, yep, DNF, so he's retired now.
That's interesting.
Alright, so the battle's
What
back
happened
on. Not sure. Him and Axel, they tend to follow one another, and if one leaves, the other one will go, and they'll go and do something else. But yeah, they've been struggling a bit lately in these series, so they're just trying to not overdo it for themselves.
Unfortunately, I did miss was it the first half of the race?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've got about 16 minutes left to go. Alright, something's happened to Scotty. Let's see what's happened to him. Oh, pinching those rears.
Ooh. Yeah.
Let's jump on board and see if we can hear what happened. Ah, it's downshifting too quick.
Did so well to keep it reasonable.
Oh, listen to it lighting it up. Yeah, I think quite a few of the guys are starting to get some hot rear tyres around here. Oh, Tim gets very wild again.
That curve looked like it was going to spin him for a second.
Yeah. He's got a lot of talent, Tim. He can really hang on to some stuff that nobody else can. But he's closing that gap up again.
Looks like he's building that momentum.
That's it.
We could be in for a bit of a entertaining period here.
Yeah, I'd assume so, that he'd be battling for the lead by the end. He just got there a bit quicker than I thought he would. But that's Dean's pace has dropped off. So he was doing high 32s, 33 flats, but his pace has dropped off to mid 33s.
Interesting to see what Dean's doing here. Whether he's struggling or if he's playing to a script, because he's very experienced. He knows what he's doing. It's quite a high race IQ.
Yep.
And I dare say that he will be, going to be a difficult one for him, unless there's a real struggle on Dean's side and he's got a lot of pace. So
Yeah, well, Dean looks like he's in good control of the car, so maybe he's just conserving those tyres, knowing that, you know, Tim catching up is going to make him push a bit harder, or he's hoping that Tim might be getting loose, pushing hard.
Again, under the brakes. Look at that. Good run.
As Dean goes defensive.
See repositions the car. Ooh, wasn't
No.
that aggressive from Dean.
Oh, Tim gets the power down nicely.
Smart driving.
Let's jump on board with Dean here.
I thought Dean might have actually decided to park the car a bit more central and show a bit more of a display of aggression, but he's decided that it's probably best to leave that alone.
Yeah, being a smart driver, like you said, maybe he realises he might not have the pace that Tim does, so let Tim through and just let Tim time around and guarantee that at least to P2, if not first.
You can see the exit speeds there. He's
Yeah.
really able to get that power down.
No, it should be a good battle to the end. Oh, Jared's had a moment. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, too much throttle. Let's just jump on board there and... Yeah, wow, you can see that he straightened out, floored it, and it just let go on him, didn't it?
Yep. A little bit more unforgiving period once you get past the best of the tyre.
Ah, that's it.
Certainly got to be very careful.
Well, he kept out of the wall this time, so he's still going. He has dropped off nearly 40 seconds from Scotty, though, so... Having a bit of a rough run at the moment. And back to the front.
Good to see him out there.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah, a bit surprised to see Jared in a V8 supercar, but he's also been talking with a few of the guys about doing some laps in it, which is good.
They're great. Great little events. Be interesting to see how we go into the second half of the year. Start to see the numbers build up a little more again. More drivers coming through, learning.
Yeah, that's it.
Learning from other drivers. It's going to be good. Interesting to see how things go.
Yeah, every season we grow a couple of
Out
numbers.
a bit now.
He is, yeah. Yeah, 1.2.
Dean's really struggling.
It
Unless
could have
he's
been...
got some sort of trick up his sleeve, I dare say. There's not much he can say.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't want to sit too close, because I know I don't like to sit too close behind someone. But that 1 second mark seems pretty comfortable in most cars.
Yeah,
Gives
but
you
you
all
certainly don't want to be any further back.
No, certainly not.
You need to be there, yeah.
But looking
Not
at that
only for
pace
the
difference...
obvious reasons, but braking markers and reference points you get from the other car especially is pretty important.
Yeah, 100%. As Tim now has a lap car coming up, that's Phil Whiteman ahead. Phil's been doing it well, he's got himself up into P8. He's not quick, Phil, but he's becoming very consistent, so with consistency will slowly come pace as well, so we should see him working his way up the order soon.
Interesting to see what a lot of these drivers are utilising for hardware. Quite often you see, as they come through development phases, once they actually invest a bit of time, then they warrant the investment of, more money into better gear.
Yeah.
And then you see them increase, their pace significantly.
Yep.
After probably, generally within a month, as they get used to everything and learn a little bit more about it. So,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's good. And again, you see a lot of these drivers doing what they're doing. Sometimes you think, you got to remember, a lot of them are driving the most basic of gear, and they're still performing very well.
No, that's it.
Meeting standards beyond a lot of what the other newer drivers are doing with better gear.
Well, that's it. It's just being comfortable with what you got and making the most of it, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
And better gear doesn't make you faster, it just makes you, generally just makes you more consistent.
Oh, look, I don't know. Personally, I'd argue with some cases there are some definite gains to be had. It depends, obviously, on some variables, but like I found with myself personally, it was instant games. Moving from a G29, I think, to a Fanatec Club Sport 2.5
Yep.
with a BMW wheel. Instantly, you know, within hours, I was a second and a half
Yeah, okay.
faster. Whereas, you know, you hear the stories of guys out there that have got them strapped to a desk, you know, and don't need to upgrade from there, and they're killing everyone. But quite often we've seen plenty of times recently as well, especially with Impel, there've been some drivers that have started off fairly, you know, I guess what you could say average, pretty decent, but nowhere near the pace they've been demonstrating after they've had significant hardware upgrades and the time to really, you know, settle in and get used to them.
Yep.
All of a sudden we're seeing blokes, you know, skyrocket to the top of the list, almost overnight in a sense, it feels like.
Yep.
So it's yeah, anyway, we don't want to get too far off the topic in that regard, but I do understand, yeah, people's arguments as well with the other examples that fit in with that. But where's Dean now in reference to Timo's?
Yeah, so it's dropped to about 2.5 seconds back, so he's definitely dropping off the pace. His pace is good, but Tim's is just a bit quicker, so 33.1's about Dean's pace, whereas Tim's doing those mid-32, so... So Tim's probably going to run away with it in a classic Tim style, last the first challenge. But Dean's done a really good job tonight, putting it on pole and then holding off for as long as he did. Probably wise not to battle Tim, because battling Tim would have brought Jamie and Jonathan into the mix pretty quick. And if there's any incidents there, then yeah, he'd be dropping himself way down the order.
It'd be terrible for him, but great for us.
Yeah, that's it.
We would have loved to have seen the show.
So Barry's had a moment. Let's have a quick look what's happened here.
Run him off the road.
Oh, big lock, big spin.
Feel the love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thought I'd give you the toe on the main straight before I pulled over.
Yeah, that's a doozy, that one.
Well, that's, yeah.
He's having a rough night, Barry. He got tangled up with Tim on lap 1 or lap 2. It was just netcode, just pulled them together like magnets and then spat them back out again. And then...
he's pretty capable. It's a shame.
Barry, yeah, no, he's been doing really well this season. But no, he's had a couple of rough nights every now and then, so this is one of them, unfortunately. But he'll come back. And then Greg's been quietly plodding along, and he's currently where he started, so he hasn't gained or lost anything, he's just cruising along. Joel's apparently racked up a whole bunch of incidents, so we'll have to go and check all those at the end.
I'd say that'd be turn 1.
Bit all over the place, yeah, a bit all over the place, I think, because there's no incident limit tonight. The host forgot to add them. So a few of the guys have been taking advantage of that, that's for sure. And then just up the road, I'm a bit surprised John Akers hasn't been able to close up with Jamie again. He certainly had the pace over him earlier, but obviously with the tyre degradation, he's dropped off a bit. And yeah, Dean's really dropping off now. I've seen yellow flash up a couple of times, so maybe a few off tracks there. But yeah,
get hard. These cars are demanding, even if they are the better drivers.
Yeah, that's it. They're changing too. They change every lap. Hey, like you might have a couple of really good laps, and then all of a sudden the tyre temp just goes that fraction too high, and then next next lap is loose as hell, and you're not sure what's going on. So
yeah, 100% you're right.
Yeah.
Especially the brakes and that as well, the variation that you get in what you're able to do and when you're able to do it is forever changing. That you have to really be on the ball.
Yeah, that's it.
The boys are doing a great job, considering again the car that they're in.
Oh, that's it. It's such a good learning car, eh? Like
100%. Yeah. If you're going to learn, it's best to do it in something like this.
That's it. This one on the V8 Supercar. As Jamie has Phil now to navigate. What's Phil's pace look like? It's doing... Oh, he didn't set a lap time last lap, so we'll have to see what it is this lap. But he qualified with a 136, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if Phil's managed to reduce that time as the race has gone on. Jared's got himself a black flag coming in the pits. I think he's sped through pits.
Ooh. Very easy to get caught out with that sort of thing. I've got a bad habit for that one myself.
Yeah, really?
It seems to be on the excuse me, that's for myself a few times now. Very easy to get caught out with, especially when you're really trying to push the limit.
Yeah, yep.
Oh,
Jared's having quite a moment here. Let's just see what happened here. Oh, yep, very loose.
Wow. I think he got confused with the style of event we're at.
Oh, that's it.
A second I thought we were in Tokyo.
Alright, but he gets back to pits, no worries.
Very stylish, I'll give him that. He's got to get points.
No, that's it. Alright, 2 minutes left, so we've got about... Where's Tim? Probably got 2 laps. Yep, 2 more laps this time by.
Very solid drive. Especially to do it from the rear, even if a small grid.
No, that's it. And he did get tangled up with Barry earlier on too, so he got put right at the back at one stage. So 2 to go. And he's pulled that lead out to nearly 5 seconds over Dean, so 132.7, so very consistently high 32s. And Dean's pretty safe here in P2 at the moment, with an 8-second lead over Jamie in P3. And Jamie's done well in the end here. He's holding on to that podium spot. Just got to keep it together for another couple of laps, that'll be right.
Very good try.
John Akers in P4. He's got to navigate Phil now. Oh yeah, Phil's down into 135s now, so he's definitely finding pace as the race goes on, which is what we like to see.
Yeah. Definitely want to see the confidence building.
No, that's it. And sometimes it just takes time, hey?
Sorry.
Yeah, go.
I was saying, yeah, sometimes I find that's one of the main reasons that people are a little bit behind on the pace. It's just a confidence thing. They just do not want to push the car
Yeah.
to the point that you have to, to extract the pace.
Yeah, that's it.
We all have that issue. It's probably what limits all of us in some, but others, yeah, obviously suffer more than others. If you can just get someone to push past that point and try and trust the car, a bit beyond what they did before, it's amazing the amount of time they actually pick up.
Yeah, well, that's probably where a lot of that pace comes from in the higher end gear. It's just being able to feel a lot more and just knowing where that limit is a lot, more refined limit, more defined, I should say. On a lower end wheelbase, you can't really feel exactly where it is, but then you get that higher end gear and you can, you really know when you start understeering.
There's a lot more, I think fidelity's the right thing. And, you get a greater resolution.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Information.
Yeah, first thing I noticed grabbing the Sim Magic gear is that I felt like the wheel was counter-steering intuitively. he felt like he was anticipating what was happening.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it behaves more naturally like a real car.
That's it. All right, last up, and here we go. Tim for the win. Well done, mate. He finished 8 spots up, so he started P9, and he finishes in first place as Dean comes through now in P2. Well done, mate. Jamie crosses the line in P3, and John Akers just behind him in P4. Well done, guys. And then a bit of a jump back to Joel Farley, who's had a bit of an up and down race this race. Yeah, he certainly had the pace, but yeah, this T3 kept catching him out over and over.
Yeah, a very tricky one. It was really the struggle with the rear.
My car's got the X on down there, mate. The front just keeps falling off.
All right, well done, Joel. P5 as he crosses the line in his flying machine. And then not far behind, Greg Levine, very consistent this race. Very clean car at the end, P6. And then a great drive from Barry now. Again, very up and down race for Barry, but he's brought it home, P7. Great result there.
Go on you, Barry.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
And I believe Phil's already crossed the line.
Well driven, Greg.
And then we've got our 2 V8 supercars. So Scotty brings it home
That's the first time I've ever beaten you.
ahead of
Barry.
Jared, as Jared brings home a very busted Chevrolet Camaro.
Trying to catch you. Cheers, guys. Good fun.
All right, Tim's already left the chat. Let's see if we can find someone doing some burnouts.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he cleans him up.
Wow.
All right, let's grab our podium if we can see all 3 of them.
Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. Great racing. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hey, Tim, well done tonight on the win. P9 to first place. Great driving there, mate.
Yeah, I just looked at the lap 2 things, but
Nah, it's just a bit of netcode that pull you guys together like a magnet.
yeah,
There was nothing in that one.
expecting him to be a little bit further to the left,
Yes, yeah,
to be honest.
that's all right. We can look at that post race if either of you guys want to have a look at it. But no, as I looked at it, there was nothing in it. It was just netcode.
Yeah, I did feel like there was room in it, and yeah, we did get that kind of wheel suck thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
never mind, this track combo works well. It's kind of,
yeah, good. Yeah, it's a fun track, Red Bull. Eh?
yeah, I didn't do any practice. So.
Did the what happened behind Dean there, where you got loose out of the last corner?
Oh, I just pushed the car, just pushed. That was it.
Oh, that's all it was. Okay. Yeah, so you might have been cooking your tyres trying to catch up.
Yeah, so the front pushed. I got on the throttle on the second to last, and it kind of just went sideways, and then it kind of carried on through into the. You know what these tyres are like? You spin them up, and they get a bit of heat, and then they're ice for a few bits. So,
Yeah, 100%. Oh, that's good. And Dean, you did really well. Put it on pole and held on to the lead for most of the race until Tim came along. But did you decide to let him through, or what happened there?
No, I didn't. I was a little bit disappointed actually because I kind of just missed the. I think that I thought it would be inevitable, but for a couple of laps there, I sort of managed just to keep him around the second mark, and then I just missed the apex at turn 1, and I kind of had nothing to fight with into the hairpin then, so thought better of it.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, it kind of looked like you were going to go defensive up to the hairpin, but then pulled out of it. So yeah, so you missed that opportunity, was it?
Yeah, to be honest, I just struggled with the last turn and turn 1 all night. I just kept missing the apexes. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah, that was a bit disappointing because I thought sort of as each lap sort of went on, I sort of started to feel a little bit more like I could make it really difficult. But yeah, just a bit Yeah, a bit not good enough, really.
So it happens. Now, it looked like you were playing it safe and just trying to lock in that P2 and trying to avoid the battle so that the guys behind didn't catch back up. But no, it looked like a smart drive.
Yeah, it's just this was my first race here in the Porsche Cup, so it's just there was so much emphasis, I guess, on just being really accurate and not necessarily just wringing the neck out of it. So
Yep.
that's all I was really trying to focus on. Is despite me continually missing the last turn and turn one, everywhere else on the track I seem to be pretty strong. So it was just a matter of trying to focus on hitting the apexes and getting the exit really.
Yeah, good. And then Jamie, you were hanging on for quite a while there at the beginning, but then once Dean broke that toe, you sort of dropped you off a bit. But no,
mistakes. But
yeah,
just one too many mistakes, but at the end of the day, I wasn't really racing those guys. I was racing Jonathan from a championship point of view.
Yep.
So as long as the aim was to finish in front of John. So yeah.
no, that's it.
I was
Smart
never
driving
going
then.
to catch. Well, Tim come through, and I was never going to catch him. And Dean he was too far ahead of me anyway. So
Yep. Yeah, he did have John all over the back of you for a while there, and then he after the pit stops, he seemed to have lost a bit of pace. So
yeah, I think he had a couple of mistakes. I think, and I thought he would have got me because he pitted early.
yeah,
And he was still running quicker times than what I was. But yeah, I thought he would have got me in as I was coming out of the pit lane, but I was still 3 seconds. I was
Yeah.
like 3 seconds ahead.
yeah, he had a
coming out
slower
of pit
pit
lanes.
stop, so not sure if he took on extra fuel compared to you guys
Yeah,
or not.
okay.
So
Yeah.
but no, it looked
But
fun
no,
out there,
overall, it was
and
a good race.
And I must have the same fuel calculator because we did exactly the same.
yep, you did
To the point.
to the point. 38.7. Yep.
It is a tricky track. I'm very grateful whoever got rid of the incident point situation. But yeah, it is a very tricky track. I don't actually like driving it, but it's a good race track, and that's what I find is it has opportunities. There's good overtaking zones. It's got a bit of variety, but yeah, like Dean said, you just got to try and be super consistent and concentrate on nailing those exits because that's where the lap time is.
Yeah, you can see you were getting really good exits, Tim, and that's where you were really gaining on most. And then when you got in front, that's where you were pulling away.
Yeah, like I found Dean was super fast through kind of sector 2, sector 3. He's probably quicker than me, I would imagine.
Yep.
It was just that last corner and those and turn 1 and turn 3 or 4, but we'll call it turn 2.
Yep.
That's kind of I felt like I had good control and good drive. Sending the brake bars to the moon backwards is always a good thing in this car. So
yep. Not good things. And then Scotty winning the V8s. You didn't have the pace early on like Jared did, but through your consistency and Jared's mistakes, you brought it home in P1.
Yeah, I had a 50-50 chance of getting up tonight. Unfortunately for Jared, the front kept falling off his one, and my one stayed together. So,
Yep.
yeah, all good.
Yep. Rather, we're just saying that you can see Jared's front end falling off in the background. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like I definitely don't have the skill level to tame this beast, but it's good fun when you get it in that. When you pull the lap together, you feel like you're God.
Yeah,
until the
awesome.
next corner. But,
Yeah.
yeah, bloody good fun.
No, that's good. And what made you guys jump into the V8s tonight?
Oh, just something a bit different. It's I reckon if I can get half decent at this, it'll help me manage other cars, particularly new ones as they come onto the service, just because it's so difficult. You've got to be so precise with it.
Yeah.
So, just good learning curve for me.
Yeah, 100%. If you get comfortable in these things, you can drive most other things pretty well. So, no, that's good insight. No, that's what they're there for anyway. They're there for people to jump into and have a go of and have a go of getting used to. So that's good.
Yeah, bloody oath, and maybe have a crack at the 1000 later in the year.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. Well, thanks for jumping in. We'll wrap up the stream there. So next race for the league is on Wednesday night in the GT4s, and we are headed to Mid-Ohio. Nothing on Thursday night this coming week, and then next Monday, Porsche Cup heads to Interlagos. All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for putting it on.
myself on you.